Okay, can everyone hear me? Is everyone good? Can everyone hear me? Okay, if I can get some silence in the room, that would be greatly appreciated. Oh wow! First and foremost, welcome everyone to amazing evening. Can we have a round of applause for CAF for putting on this amazing event? First and foremost. Right, maybe no clapping for me, but you guys can clap. First and foremost, thank you for coming down. Thank you for being part of this celebration. It is a super exciting time. Any AFCON fans in here, make some noise? There we go. The biggest and best tournament. Bring in the vibes and energy. We play different, we create different, we do things differently, and we're here to celebrate today. My name is Mayo Kodri. I'll be moderating this talk of African giants. I have some very influential people with me. I have current footballer, I have former footballers, I have people that have built dynasties in football. Any Arsenal fans in the building? Listen, without this man here, there's no Arsenal. I'm just going to say that. But can I have a warm round of applause for Alex Song, Victor Wanyama, Mr. David Dean, and Alex Awobi, please. Now, I'm not going to waste too much time. AFCON is coming up, and it's a very important time because we get to celebrate Africa as a continent. But I want to focus a little bit on African football. So I need all of you to describe for me how you would describe African football. I'll let you go first, Alex.
Oh, football, African players improve a lot. And we see a lot of African players, they're playing now everywhere in Europe. When I was young, I was dreaming. And then we have so great player in the past, they're playing in the Premier League. They're doing very well. They opened the door. And today I'm very happy when I see my young boy do very well. And he was Arsenal player, and then he went now Fulham. He's doing very good job. That's make people back home dreaming, and then that's why we keep doing it. I'm so happy. We are glad because African growing up. And we are future, we are very close. We are very close what we're seeing here today, and I'm so happy how we improve more every single year.
Victor, how about you? How would you describe African football?
I think I'll put it as, entertaining, enjoyable, and also where you get to see everything, skills, some, kicking and everything. So it's fun. It's fun.
I like that, fun. Mr. Dean.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to my extended family, because I cut my teeth in business in Africa, treading the hot pavements of Lagos, Accra, Abidjan. So I feel that Africa is my second home. And I've been going to the African Cup of Nations since 1984, wow. When actually Cameroon won it that year and Roger Miller was playing.
Wow. That's a real heritage. So when you think of those experiences that you've had, especially being so prominent on the continent, especially with football, how would you describe African football?
For me, it's passion, it's fun, it's talented, and above all else, you feel the players are playing with a wonderful spirit. And and the fans, the crowd, the music, everybody's got to go there.
Borowski, African football.
For me, it's entertainment. It's not just the football, but the people that come to watch the games, the cultures you get to see. You get to see all sorts of celebration, music. Africa is the only place you see people bring instruments. Yeah. You see all the fans here, the trumpets and the drums. So honestly, African football is amazing for that aspect. There's constant entertainment, and you get to see different cultures.
There's something I want to touch on because this is the Diaspora tour, and of course, we are in your hometown of London. But you represent your home nation, which is an experience that a lot of people can relate to, born in one place, but you represent where you come from. How has that lived experience informed how you play football?
Well, quick disclaimer, I was born in Nigeria.
No, but you
but no, quick disclaimer though, I had to say it, I was born in Nigeria.
How old was you when you moved over here?
Yeah, 8 months. Obviously I've grown up in London, so I've grown up in the English culture, but home was always the Nigerian culture, the Nigerian food. So for me, obviously, I played in the England system from 16 to 19, but I thought it's only right before I ever make a decision, I try out both. And when I went to try Nigeria, I felt more at home. The Nigerian spirit's always been within me. So yeah, I had no regrets. Of course, I respect England, but now it's nice that I've gone back to the Nigerian team, and there's a lot of players that are doing so now, not just in Nigeria, but other countries as well. Everyone's remembering their roots and they're celebrating and they're going back to represent, so it's nice.
It's super important because I feel like it's a common theme now where a lot of players are realizing that there are options and home is where the heart is. And that feeling of belonging is such an important part. Alex, your career, of course, you know, you come from the continent, but you spent so much of a career in Europe. How did you find that experience of leaving the continent to come and play in Europe?
Yeah, me, I was like lucky because I had my cousin who was playing national team. And of course, I went to France when I was 11 years old, and I played under 16 with national team in France. But my dream was every time go back home because I was watching my cousin playing, and I want to go back home. You know, like the atmosphere is different. Way how he was saying, like, you know, when you're feeling your passion, like in your heart, saying like you have to go back home. And I love the way how we do in Africa, how we dance. You know, it's fun. We want to play for the country. We want to give the best for the country. We enjoy it. And then when you like feel that passion, you will just choose your country. But it's really different, you know. Everyone have to choose what they want to choose. But I choose the best decision in my life to play for my country, and I'm happy.
Victor, we were having a conversation before, and I mentioned that I went to Kenya this year, and that there's a real love for football. And I think when we discuss AFCON, there is the temptation to think of a few nations, but the beauty of it is that so many nations get their limelight. You were part of a really historic club that went back to AFCON after Kenya had not featured for so long. What did that moment mean to you, and what did it mean to the nation?
I think when we went back to the AFCON was, I think, after 20 or 20-something years, and it was a great feeling. You know, football in Kenya is huge. I know Kenya, we have good runners, but even the runners, they love football. So they love football over there, and the people, they were really happy to see Kenya going back to the AFCON, because you see everything stops when it's the African Cup of Nations. Everything stops in Africa. I would not say only Kenya, but everything stops, and people, they are really, you know, keen and always looking forward to watch their national team. So it was something that the nation was proud to have their own country getting back to the AFCON after a very long time.
It was so surreal because I was walking through Kenya and you'd be like, who do you want to be? And it was like, Victor Wanyama, like all of these kids wanted to be you, and it shows how impactful these platforms are to giving back to future generations. Mr. Dean, you are a key pillar in the transformation of English football. You oversaw, you know, a club really come to its forefront. But one of the things that we've seen in English football play a key transformation is the influence of African footballers. Why was that such an important thing when we started seeing more African footballers in the Premier League?
Well, a perfect example, I think, is when we signed Kanu, and he came in, nobody really knew who he was, and all of a sudden, he suddenly became a hero. And I remember distinctly that he scored a hat-trick in his first season at Chelsea, and all of a sudden, half of Nigeria became Arsenal fans.
That goes to say, right? And it wasn't just Kanu, there was player after player. Like, was Kanu a great proof of concepts that African players needed more opportunity?
And of course, with Alex, well, the two Alexes, you know, we were fortunate. And then, of course, in the Invincibles, when you consider we had such a wonderful team. And of course, Patrick himself was born in Senegal.
Yes. So it's super important. I mean, thinking about the tournament, it's a tournament of great scenes. We see so much happening, whether it's the fans, whether it's celebrations beforehand. I want you to all think about what has been your favourite moment at an AFCON.
I think, like, for me, the best moment for AFCON, like, when you see all, like, everyone on the continent, they have to be together, they celebrate, you know, sometime, like, before the beginning, you don't know who's winning, they just enjoy dancing. Like, I love the seeing, like, because I remember when I was playing AFCON 2008, before we play against semi-final against Ghana, all the fans, they was together. Everyone was talking about, like, this game is very important, we have to enjoy it. That's make a big difference, you know. That's, for me, was something very special.
How about you, Alex?
For me, what I really enjoy is when we're going to the game, when we're arriving, we're singing on the bus together, we're praying together, and then obviously when we're walking to the change room, you see how someone has a speaker and we're all singing together. It just shows what we're like we like to celebrate each other, we like to enjoy, we like to live the moment. So just seeing, but not just Nigeria, seeing many other countries celebrate before the game, it's just like you won't see that anywhere else. So
who's the change room DJ for Nigeria?
It changes. It actually changes. One day it could be Samuel Chukwueze. The next day we miss Kelechi Iheanacho. It used to be him, but I think it's Chukwueze that's the main DJ right now.
Victor, when you went to that AFCON, of course, it was a groundbreaking moment. How important were the fans that followed you to celebrate you in that moment?
It was important. It was important for the fans, to make the travel and come and watch their national team. And for us, seeing them there was just enough motivation. And you could see, our group, we had very, very big national teams, the likes of Senegal and also Algeria, and they're the two that met in the final. But Africa is Africa. Your national team expect you to do well. They expect you to beat them. They don't care who they are. So it was nice to see them there, representing our Kenyan culture, watching, the fans coming in the stadium with the, Kenyan attires, representing the culture of Kenyan people was really good.
Mr. Dean, you said that you've been to many at AFCON. You must have some moments that really stand out to you.
Oh yeah, certainly. And one particular one, because I spent a lot of my formative years trading in particularly in Nigeria, and seeing Nigeria win in 1994 against, I think it was against Zambia, and I think it was in Tunis. I think they won 3-1. And that was a special one for me because I knew all the people involved and I felt close to it.
One thing that stands out about your journey, Mr. Dean, is that you give so much back to Africa. Why is it important that, not just in football, that those opportunities are granted? Because it is a land of resource, it is a land where so many people are hungry to give more. Why is it so important to be giving back?
Well, don't forget, Africa is such a natural bed of talent. And if I was starting again in football today, I would send a lot of my talent scouts to Africa and perhaps also to South America. But definitely Africa is, because everybody loves football there and they're passionate about it and everybody plays with a smile. You ask these guys, right? They enjoy it.
And of course, there are some people that maybe are unsure about AFCON, have never tapped in before. If you could give a message to someone that's not watched AFCON, what would you tell them to look out for?
Just go there and see for yourself, because there's nothing like seeing a live game. It's one thing on television, but when you actually go there and you feel it and you hear the music and the atmosphere and the passionate fans and the players playing with such a great spirit, it's very special.
Something I wanted to ask you two in particular is, how did it feel? Because you mentioned that your nations had a lot of expectation. Was that a heavy responsibility, or was it one that you took pride in, knowing that your nations wanted you to do well?
Yeah, it's not easy, but we are football players. When you play for your country and we play in the high level, obviously you have to do well for your country. We're not going with the pressure. We're going because we want to be proud of what we're doing. We have to make the country to be proud of the players. Then when we go there, like Nigeria or Cameroon, when we're going there, we go for winning. We're not going for fun. Everyone expects, because that's big country. In the past, those guys doing very well there, and now they put you under pressure a little bit, but for the good result. That's why when we go, we say, we are Cameroonian, we have to win this tournament. It's the same, I think, the same way how Nigeria think, because that's the big national team in Africa. And sometimes it's not the pressure, sometimes it's good for us as well, because we have to give the result that we expect and then give more motivation, and I think it's good things.
There's no way I can't have this conversation and not ask about dancing. I was lucky enough to be with the Nigeria squad. After South Africa, everyone was dancing. I know you love to dance, whether it was Arsenal or Cameroon. Why is dancing and music so important to AFCON?
It's just a big thing with our culture, especially let's start with music. Everyone loves their music, whether it's Cameroon, Kenya, everyone likes to dance, everyone likes to wear a certain attire, everyone's got their certain native wear. Everyone likes to represent and show why they're Nigerian, why they're Cameroonian, why they're from these sort of countries. So dance is a big part of our culture. We love our music. So any given moment, we like to showcase that, whether it's with football, whether it's anywhere, we'll show that we love our music.
Right. Let's bring it home. We've had a great conversation, but there's a few questions I still have to ask you. For all of you, of course, in order to get into a game, there's legends that go before us, right? Who is that one African player that you looked towards and you thought, that's who I wanted to be? or for you, David, a player that really changed the game for you?
Well, obviously, we were fortunate of having many talented players, but when you look at the players that have graced the Premier League, we've been so fortunate. When you think of Didier Drogba, and now you've got wonderful players. Virtually in every team there's an African player, and that tells you that. When I first went to Africa, I think I was the only white man there. Today, you'll find every scout virtually from every club in the top divisions are there looking for talent.
Amazing. Alex, how about you? Who's the one player that you looked at and wanted to be an African player?
No, when I was young, like most Nigeria players, that was doing very good in Premier League. You have JJ, you have Kanu. There was like everyone when he was young was dreaming to be like them. You know, I think that's for me was the two African player that was doing very, very well here, and then they opened the door for us.
How about you, Victor?
For me too, I would say, the generation of JJ, Kanu, that team was sick, man. And I used to watch them and admire what they were doing on the pitch, man. They were showing passion and everything that you could see, you could imagine when you're growing up, you want to do in football.
You're not allowed to say JJ.
No, but I have to, man. That's I have no choice. That's my uncle. I have to. But I'm gonna say him. But because I was lucky enough to grow up with such an uncle, I used to watch his games, and he was playing in the team in the Premier League in Bolton with Sam Allardyce, who's obviously not one to have players do that, but he was brave enough to dance on the pitch to showcase his skills. So because that's my uncle, I got to see it live, and that's why he'll forever be my idol.
Right, let's bring it home. Toughest player you all played against at AFCON?
Essien.
Essien?
Yeah.
Why Essien?
No, because she's tough midfield. Very hard, to play one against one. It's not easy, you have to play. We play against Ghana, the semi-final in Ghana, in Accra. I played against him in the middle. And I was injured that game, because that game, it was a big fight with him and me, and then we won the game, but I didn't play the final because he's killing me that game.
So, Michael Essien, how about you, Victor? Who's the toughest player you played at AFCON?
For me, I'll say Riyad Mahrez, because I was in the middle, but when I see him, flying on the wing, and I was so mad, like I wanted to go over there and take him out, but I couldn't catch him.
Alex, how about you?
The hardest game for me was Ivory Coast in the final, Seri. He came in and changed the midfield. He controlled it. Obviously, there was other players that were there, but Seri was controlling the game, and we couldn't get close to him. And it's annoying because I've grown up in the Arsenal academy. I like to have the ball, but when someone else is controlling it, we get frustrated. So for me, that was my toughest game.
You bring me to a nice point, because you both mentioned playing a host nation in their country. For those who would never get that experience, what is that atmosphere like? Because you played Ghana in Ghana, you played Ivory Coast in a final. Like, what is it like when you're playing against a whole country, basically?
It's crazy, because obviously we played them in the group stage, and then we played them in the final. So we beat them in the group stage, and we thought, we're confident. But when they came to the final, they've changed their manager. The stadium is just filled with orange T-shirts. There's concerts. They're already celebrating, doing a specific dance. But it can be intimidating. It can be intimidating, but at the end of the day, you have to lock in. But unfortunately, it just wasn't meant to be for us.
We'll get them back in this month. It's all right. We'll get them. Don't worry. How about you? What was it like playing in Ghana against Ghana?
It was crazy because it's semi-final in Ghana, in Accra. When the bus was going to the stadium, everyone's going out, the fans, they were saying, hey, today you dead. Today don't expect anything here. It was like in the bus, I was like music, like with my headphone, I was just like this. We see. And then when we went to the stadium, because sometimes before the game you have to go to the pitch, you walk in the pitch, and you see the crowd, and the people that was crying. I said, today, guys, it was like this. Today is not an easy game. We have to show them like we are Cameroonian here today. Just give them more motivation. It was unbelievable. When we scored the goals, it was just like this thing, like.
It's a perfect segue to bring us home. This trophy here, beautiful trophy. Who is winning this trophy come January?
Definitely Cameroon. You know, like I will never say anything else. Cameroon, 100%, definitely.
I would say I'm back in Nigeria, but you know, my guy here, so I'm expecting big things from my guy. So,
Mr. Dean, I know you said you're Nigerian, but who are you backing to win this trophy?
I tell you who's going to be the winner of this trophy: football and African football.
Let's give that a round of applause. I like that answer. Diplomatic, but I'll let it go. Okay.
Very smart answer.
Yeah, Alex, tell them who's winning, please.
I'm going to manifest and I'm going to say Nigeria are going to win.
Wait, where's the clap for that? Where's the...
I don't think there's a lot of Nigerians here.
Oh man, listen, thank you all for tuning in to this. There'll be panel talks tomorrow. Can I have a warm round of applause for Alex Song, Victor Wanyama, Mr. David Dean, and Alex Owobi.